I am standing here with the man himself, Mr. Shelley Butch Anthony III. How you doing, sir?
All is well. It's a pleasure to be here, and I just thank God for this day.
Yes, it's a magnificent day. You're back in Tampa, Florida for a very important reason. We are in the Tampa Theater, and I know you have some history here.
Oh yes, I was born and raised in Tampa. In West Tampa. On Union Street. Union Street. That's where we live. And my parents, well, a year before I was born, started Anthony's Drive-In at Maine and Oregon in West Tampa. And so to come back here today, to just bring it back full circle, it's just amazing.
And I know it's full circle in more ways than one. You have a relationship with the Tampa Theater.
Oh, yes. When I left my dad in the late 60s and told him it was time for me to get a job, I came downtown Tampa, and the first place I came was the Tampa Theater building. And I got a job inside the Tampa Theater building delivering eyewear for a company called Independent Optical Company. And one thing led to another. I ended up in the lab, found out that God had gifted me to help make people see, and that was just amazing, And so that's how, my career started as far as a job is concerned, was at Independent Optical making eyewear for doctors.
And you spoke about God just a moment ago and what he revealed to you. And you have had these instances along your life where he's revealed something new to you. And now you are the proud owner and founder of a restaurant chain. How does that feel?
Oh, that's amazing. It's just really amazing. God gave me this vision in 1976 when I was making eyewear. He wanted me to, seem as though, I didn't know God back then, but I just felt something in my heart that it was time for me to go back to my roots. And so I opened up this little barbecue place in Decatur, Georgia called Butch's Slide-In Barbecue. And I never forget, I took a week off from work, opened up on a Friday, about 11 o'clock, stayed open to 4 o'clock the next morning. And all I did was about $150 worth of business. And I knew something was wrong. I was mad at Buddy and Daddy because I say they didn't tell me something. How can I survive off $150 and pay everybody and pay the bills, in one day's business, especially on a weekend day, which is Friday. So, that's where it all started, but I kept it going, and then one day my job kind of gave me an ultimatum. I either sell the business or terminate my job.
Right.
So I decided, well, it's time for me to move on. So I just decided to step out on faith, God had put something in me about risk-taking. Because I was a compulsive gambler as a teenager, and I just stepped out, and I had enough money to make it for about a year, and I just went for it, and I ended up selling it, around 80, somewhere around there. I met my wife in 81, and then my father transitioned, and I wanted to open up another restaurant. And so in 83, we started This Is It, fish, shrimp, and more, And then a little, because I couldn't find nobody to cook the barbecue like I would cook it. And I couldn't grow the business in there cooking it every day,
So trust was a part of this whole thing. You trusting God, you building that trust over time with the woman who would become your wife, and then eventually you finding the right people to work in your business to grow it to what it is today. How does it feel to look back over your shoulder and to see all that God has done for you?
When I reflect and look back, it's just amazing. Because I can't trace it. I can't figure it all out. When I think about where we started from, God is the only somebody that can take nothing, because I was broke, disgusted, didn't have anything. But God turned it around. You know, my mama told me when I was about 8 years old that I was born to be a king. And I never received it, never even entertained that, because it was always such a struggle, you know. And then even in business, it's the same way. But, you know, I was over 50 years old when I received what Mother said. You know, and then I started saying, Mother used to tell me I was born to be a king. She used to dress me up like a king. And I just received it, you know, and then one thing led to another, things started changing, and you know, here we are today.
Right. And here we are indeed. You're not here alone. You have your family here from all over the country, from Tampa, Atlanta. How does it feel to be in the presence with the family, to share in this moment with you?
Oh, that's amazing. I got my cousins here. I got my brother here. I got my Aunt Dot here. Aunt Dot is 98 years old. You know, she couldn't come when we did it in Atlanta, but she's here today, you know, and I'm just hoping that it just energizes her so she can see what God has done for the Anthony family, because she's the Anthony historian. She remembers everything about the Anthony family. You know, and we used to go to her house after school until Daddy came and picked us up in the evening. You know, and that was our safe place, was with my grandmama and my Aunt Dot. You know, and that that just means so much. You know, Aunt Dot is just a special lady. You know, and she worked for my daddy. And then I got my cousin, my first cousin, that worked for my daddy, Herman King. You know, both of them are here today. He's probably in his late 80s, somewhere in his 80s, you know, and Aunt Dot is 98, you know, and I just say, I mean, it's just amazing to see what God has done. And then my wife is here with her family, the Johnson family. You know, that's another amazing situation. I mean, we just all family. We just all here just enjoying what God has done. It's just amazing. I mean, when I think about what God has done and what he can do, you know, I reflect the year that I got to meet President Obama at Tyler Perry's house. You know, when I left that house that night, God put a scripture in my spirit, Ephesians 3:20. He says, son, I don't want you to never forget that I can do exceedingly abundantly more than you could ever even imagine or think, according to the power that works inside of you. So I always say, if you ain't got nothing on the inside, ain't nothing gonna show up on the outside.
And with that, I know that you have a word for the young people in our community, not just in the Anthony family, but all over Tampa.
Yeah.
What would you like to say to them?
You know, I want you to know that the Bible says that God is the same yesterday, today, and forevermore. You know, this world might change, the people in the world might change, but God don't change. You know, you got to go to him to find your direction, because he said he knew you before your mama knew your daddy, and he had a plan for your life. And that's where your abundance is. And I also want to give you a scripture, Isaiah 48:17-18. And it says that God will teach you how to profit. Profit. God will teach you how to profit. And then it says he will show you which way to go to get it. And the next verse says that God said, if you keep his commandments, your prosperity will be like a flowing river. It'll just keep coming. But you got to have a personal relationship with it. You got to give up this worldly stuff, all of these worldly things that go on. You got to go to him from which cometh your help, which made everything. The Bible says he made heaven and earth, you know, and he got a plan for you that surpasses your understanding.
And sir, I see the joy in your eyes as you speak. I can hear it in your voice, and I know that our audience feel it too. And is there anything you would like to add to the conversation?
Well, I just want everybody to know, to get hope out of this documentary. I'm just a regular guy that God has used. Ain't nothing that special about me. It's just about what God has done. I just got a 10th grade education. All my cousins got college degrees. My brother's an attorney, but I didn't even finish high school. But God. But God.
But God. And with that, sir, I want to say congratulations and thank you for what you have done for this community and for the people of Georgia. You have touched so many lives as a husband, as a father, as an employer, and just as a man of God. Thank you for all that you've done. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for your time and interviewing me today.
I'm here with Telley Anthony, part of the Anthony family legacy, and we're going to talk about the Miracle of Barbecue, the documentary that's taking place right here at Tampa Theater. It's a long time coming, don't you think?
Wow, 1951. We had one of the first black-owned restaurants in Tampa, Florida, and now we're here. That's amazing.
How does it feel to be back in Tampa where your grandparents laid the foundation for what you all have today?
It's absolutely phenomenal. I mean, I'm a Floridian myself. I went to Monroe. I went to Blake. I went to BC Graham. So I know the city quite well.
And excuse me, you know the city well, but that also means you know a little bit about the Tampa Theater. How does it feel to be in this majestic movie palace celebrating this very important day for the family?
I used to see it as a child, just walking up the cobblestone streets. And now to come here and actually be a part of something that's hosted here, it just doesn't even seem real.
You know what is so tender to me? When I was here earlier, I saw the family on stage. I saw the grandparents. I saw Aunt Dot that everybody talks about. Yeah. I know that's got to be heartwarming to see all those folks together.
It's generations. And what you're seeing is the stuff that their generation started coming to fruition now. They always say the dream lives on. And this is such a great day for that dream.
So I know you've had a chance to see the documentary. This isn't your first time viewing it. It is for some in the family. But for those individuals who are not here with us today, if they were to see it at home, what would they experience? What would they get out of it?
I think you're going to get hope, number one. I think you're going to get a sense of oneness. I think you're going to see struggle and what it really means to stay in a struggle with your family and don't leave and just be a part of it. And then you'll have days to rejoice like this.
So this is definitely a momentous occasion. Looking forward, what do you see in terms of this is it, the Anthony family, and just the legacy? How do you plan on carrying that legacy forward?
I see us building more and more locations across this great country. I can't wait till the first franchise open up in Tampa again, and then we able to blow it up even bigger than it was before. I believe in modern tradition. You got to pay respect to what came before you, but you stand on what you're building today.
Is there anything else you would like to say about the Miracle of Barbecue?
It's just a phenomenal story. Just know I do believe there are going to be more miracles that's going to be shared, but we're going to rejoice in this one today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Great.
Yes, sir.
Great.